I never believed in ghosts until I started working the night shift at Halvern and Graves law firm. The job posting had seemed too good to be true. Double pay for document organization from midnight to 4 a.m. At the time, I'd laughed at the must be comfortable working alone requirement. Now I understand why they had to offer hazard pay disguised as overtime. The firm occupied the top 3 floors of the Brantley Building, a 1920s skyscraper that had somehow avoided modernization. My interview took place during the day, when sunlight streamed through stained glass windows, painting the mahogany paneling in warm hues. At night, those same windows became gaping black voids, and the antique elevator moved with the speed of a dying man's pulse. Archive Room 4B wasn't with the other records departments. To reach it, I had to take the service elevator to a sub-basement marked Storage on my keycard. The first time those doors opened onto that narrow concrete hallway, my stomach dropped. It smelled like wet paper and something else, coppery and stale, like old pennies left in rainwater. That first week, I tried convincing myself the noises were just the building settling, the way the temperature would plummet near certain files, how the motion-activated lights in the hallway sometimes turned on when nothing was there. Then came the night I found the first altered document, a 1951 deposition where every instance of the word guilty had been carefully blacked out, except one. The ink was still wet. The whispers started small, just my name murmured when no one else was around, then full sentences. Look behind you. They lied. One sleepless morning, I searched the firm's history. That's how I learned about Eleanor Voss, a stenographer who worked here in 1951, the same year as the Blackwood case, the same month she filed a complaint against one of the senior partners. 2 days later, she stopped coming to work. The worst night came when I stayed past my shift. At exactly 3:17 a.m., I'll never forget that glowing red clock, every cabinet in 4B flew open at once. Files rained down like dead leaves, and there, standing where no one had been seconds before, was a woman in a 1950s pencil skirt. Her mouth moved, but no sound came out, just a trickle of dark fluid from her lips. In her hands was a file labeled with my name. I quit the next morning. The HR manager didn't even look surprised when I mentioned 4B. As I left, I noticed something strange. All the building's clocks stopped at 3:17 a.m. The security guard just shrugged. They've been like that for years. Sometimes I think about that unfinished file Eleanor showed me, and sometimes at exactly 3:17 a.m., my home filing cabinet clicks open on its own.
I used to work late at a downtown insurance firm, one of those soulless offices with gray cubicles, flickering overhead lights, and vending machines that rarely worked. It started on a Friday, around 9:45 p.m. Everyone else had cleared out. I was finishing a report, the kind of mind-numbing spreadsheet work that drains your soul one cell at a time. That's when I heard it, a soft, dragging sound coming from the copy room, like someone pulling something heavy across the floor. I thought maybe janitorial staff came early, but the firm didn't have overnight cleaning crews. Still, I walked over, calling out a quiet hello. No response. I pushed the door open fully. The copier was running, printing blank pages, one after another. And just before I reached the stop button, I noticed something off. The pages weren't completely blank. There were faint outlines, like someone had photocopied empty chairs. I backed away. Something was wrong. The air felt charged, like the moment before a thunderstorm. I shut off the copier and turned to leave, but something caught my eye in a reflection of the glass panel on the copier lid. A figure standing behind me, just standing there. I spun around. Nothing. After that, I left everything. My laptop, my notes, even my jacket. I practically sprinted down the stairs. But when I hit the lobby, the front doors wouldn't open. They weren't locked. They were just stuck, like the building itself didn't want me to leave. Eventually, the doors just opened. No sound. No click. I didn't wait. I ran out and never looked back. HR called Monday, asking why my stuff was scattered everywhere. I just told them I quit. But sometimes, even now, when I pass that building on a train, I swear I still see lights on and the copier running.
When I got promoted to senior analyst, I was thrilled. It meant more responsibility, and yes, more late nights, but it also meant finally proving myself in a competitive field. My new role required me to work evenings, often alone after everyone else had gone home. At first, it felt peaceful, just me, my thoughts, and the quiet hum of the city beyond the windows. But soon, that silence began to feel wrong. One night, as I reviewed reports under the harsh glare of my desk lamp, I noticed something odd, a shadow moving across the far wall. At first, I assumed it was just a trick of the light or maybe a janitor passing by. But when I turned to look, there was no one there. And yet, the shadow remained, shifting slightly as if alive. I told myself it was stress playing tricks on my mind, but deep down, I knew better. A few days later, I received an email during my shift. Nothing unusual about that, except this one didn't come from anyone in the company directory. The subject line read, "You're being watched." Inside was a single sentence, "I see you typing. Don't stop." My stomach churned as I realized whoever sent it must have been monitoring my activity. I deleted the email immediately, but the feeling of eyes on me lingered long after I closed my laptop. Late one night, as I prepared to leave, I heard the unmistakable ding of the elevator arriving on my floor. Odd, I hadn't called it, and the building should have been empty. Curiosity got the better of me, so I approached cautiously. When the doors opened, there was nothing but darkness inside. No buttons lit up, no indicator showed which floor it had come from. Just emptiness. Yet, as I stared into the void, I could swear I heard faint breathing emanating from within. Things escalated when I found the map. It appeared on my desk one morning, seemingly left overnight. Someone had circled my apartment building in red marker, along with cryptic notes scrawled around it, "Close, easy access, she'll never know." Panic set in as I realized whoever had been stalking me at work now knew exactly where I lived. I haven't worked a night shift since finding that map. The thought of returning to the office fills me with dread. Even at home, I can't shake the feeling that he's watching, waiting for the perfect moment to make himself known. Did I imagine the entire thing? Or is he still out there, biding his time? Whatever answers lie ahead, one thing is certain, I'll never feel safe again.